Okay, so my name's Manny. This is Zen Pool Studios. We're here promoting awesome artists from all over the world, connecting with beautiful people, creating beautiful events. And today we have Frank. Frank, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hi. My name is Frank Villa. I'm out here in Tucson, Arizona, and wow, a little history for those who do not know me. I'm a recovered heroin addict. I'm also diagnosed with PTSD and bipolar, a lifetime of trauma, and recently I just celebrated 5 years. The last time that I shot up dope, and it's been a quite a learning experience. And I just turned 45. So I lost like over 50, 60 pounds in the process. And I also found art and expression. And that's how I did it. I did it holistically. I got off heroin holistically. It took about 3 years of relapse before I got a year of sobriety.
I was going to ask you, did you use Kratom or did you use any of those types? Because I know a lot of people that are trying to get off heroin utilize Kratom.
Oh yeah. I didn't really. I did run into it a couple times, but mostly it was like cannabis and just exercise, man. Move as much as I could and just sweat it out.
Sweating, right? Sweat out the detox and the toxins.
Yeah, and really, I started learning about my diet and eating well, and really learned about intermittent fasting and just give all my body a rest. So I do. So maybe I'll eat like one or two meals in a 24-hour period. So I'll go like
yeah, what's your block? So for people that don't know about intermittent fasting, it's really like it's you go hours without eating, only intaking water, only either hot, cold, normal, but just only water, not even lemon or anything in it. And then once you break your fast, breakfast, then you eat, within a block of time, and then you do it every day in the cycle. Is that how it works?
Right. That's correct. And the time starts. What's cool that it starts as soon as you go to bed. That's when you can start counting. So by the time you wake up, you've already had like 8 hours that you haven't eaten anything. And what it's doing, it's allowing our body and our organs and everything. It's giving it time to rest. And this allows our physiology to catch up and the detox and because our body spends most of its energy trying to break down all the food that we intake, and at the same time, if we're already suffering trauma or doing drugs or eating poorly, our gut bacteria gets compromised. So then, no matter how many vitamins or minerals or all these things that you try to take, our body's not really absorbing it. And if you do your research right now too, a lot of our food is compromised. Even the soil is losing its nutritional value, so it's not giving the necessary minerals to the plants. Thus, we're not getting it. You know what I mean? So the first thing that I learned about trauma is that one of the first things that
this is a local product, bro. That I just one of with our channel, some of the stuff that we're promoting, I just found this product today. Vibes, all organic, vegan. It's got hemp infused with CBD, so it's medicinal. And
right.
You drink this, my back felt better. Like I always have like immense pain through my spine and in some of my joints. And when I drank this, like instantly, like I was like, oh, like I could stand up better a little bit because it has the medicine. And when you're putting these types of stuffs in your body, you go organic, you go natural. When they say prana, they say the sun gave it energy and that's how it grew. And that's what you should be eating, not eating blood and meat of like animals that were grown in weird different ways. Right.
So one thing that I learned about all this is that like it helps facilitate healing and detoxing. I mean, if you're coming off of dope and all that stuff, I mean, your body goes into shock, and it hurts. I mean, it's physical pain. What it's doing really, it's tricking our mind to make it think that we're actually dying. So that's why we get so desperate and do all the things that we do to get it. Our physiology starts breaking down, and it cannot function unless it has it. So mentally and physically, it's like sending out all these warning signals, like we need this stuff, or you know what I mean? We're gonna have pain, or we're gonna have all these crazy erratic thoughts. You're just not comfortable until you get it. You know what I mean? So when you start introducing all these, giving your body a break and giving it the necessary nutrients, it facilitates.
And those
so
are
we can recover.
neurotoxins, I think, too. Or it's like in the brain, you get these neurotoxins, which are byproducts from the dopamine and everything going off. It's like when you get adrenaline going.
Right. So basically, what I learned about addiction, especially heroin, is that dopamine. You said the key word. So dopamine allows us to get the motivation to do things, right? What happens with persistent drug usage, such as heroin, it fries our dopamine receptors because it's too much. It's like when you do dope, drugs, cocaine, any of that, you get a rush of dopamine. I mean, but it overrides our dopamine receptors because our dopamine receptors cannot take the flooding constantly. When it's too much, when it's always, it fries it out. So then we have less dopamine receptors. So now what happens is that it takes more dope, or it takes more just to feel good.
Right. So that's why when users, they're like, the first time you use, you're like, oh man, that was awesome. And then you're like, you do it again, you're like, well, that wasn't as good, but that was still really good. But then it gets, and then years go by, and then you're like, why do I even do this? Because it's not the same.
Right, exactly. Oh my God. And so
I get it, bro. As I like smoking cigarettes, and like, bro, I thank God that I never put any needle in my, because I saw people put needles in themselves, and I was like, man, look at that guy. Like, do I want to be the guy like you know, that dude? Do I want to lose my teeth? Do I want to smoke stuff that's gonna make me lose my teeth? I'm not gonna lie to you. I probably done a lot of different types of, different types of substances. I've always been a curious person in my mind. Right. I want to know more. I want to see more. I want to experience more. I want to live more. I'm a fiend for life.
I love that. And well, that's what it takes, and I love that you touched on that, right? That we got to get curious. Well, that's exactly how the mindset that I had to get in rehab, was I had to get curious. I had to get curious about healing. I had to get curious about,
just like you got curious into the drugs, you got curious into like how you would hurt yourself, how you would heal yourself.
Right. So I there's a simple quote in the Bible that I really latched onto, and it's always seek and you shall find, right? And I mean, I don't want this life anymore, right? Because I already know the consequences. I already know what the hell it's doing to me. I'm sick of it. I don't want it. So I had to get creative in the way that I was thinking, and I had to go searching. I had to literally quit working, and because every time I touched money, I would relapse. So what that made me do was
I see that with a lot of people, bro. I mean, for some reason, it's like when they touch money, though, like their mind doesn't think right anymore, because you're just thinking, I need to go get it, Yeah.
And after that, you're done. So I went to a local mental health place, and I started learning about mental health. It's all free classes.
Yeah. How did you go about doing that? Like what number, like because I recommend some people sometimes that they need to call.
Well, I was already familiar with it because I was fresh out of rehab. Well, I got kicked out of rehab anyway because I relapsed in there. But being in rehab, I learned about resources. I learned about mental health, and in rehab is where I got that dual diagnosis. They told me, you're PTSD, bipolar, blah blah blah, and I just,
which, by the way, that's a real diagnosis. I truly believe that those are real diagnoses, but I really don't believe the pharmaceuticals that get pushed onto these people, they're not helping anybody. I think that, people need to find natural, holistic ways to heal their body. They're not getting the right nutrients. They're not getting the right rest. They're not getting the right support, you know, whether it be you don't feel like you belong somewhere and you feel this loneliness overcome you, and that leaves you.
Yeah, and that's a key point there, that we don't feel safe, and that boils down to our nervous system. If our nervous system doesn't feel safe, we're gonna go back to old behaviors no matter what, and that's why it gets scary to change. You know what I mean? Because all of a sudden, I can't hang out with the old people no more. I got to hang out with all these new people with new ideas and new ways of being, new ways of thinking. Well, that's a threat. That's a threat to my nervous system. That's a threat to my ego. That's a threat. So
Because
that's the
people
way
fear what they don't know. Once you don't know something, you fear it.
Exactly. And so I started going to this mental health place, man, and I just started learning. I just took every class they had. So they give free classes on coping with bipolar, learning about anger management, learning about healthy relationships, learning about grief, all this shit. And I just kept taking all these classes, man.
And sometimes did you, so how, so what did you like, sometimes did you feel like you wanted to go to the classes or you didn't want, how were you processing classes?
Yeah. At first, I was very gung ho, and then I would lose focus, and I want to go and get lazy, and that's what I started learning. It's a process, you know.
Well, David Meltzer talks about motivation and inspiration. He says motivation is fear based and inspiration is God based.
Right. And that's when you start trusting, and that's what I started doing. So if my ego would get lazy or get like anxiety about going to class or speaking or doing what we're doing right now, this is still uncomfortable to me. You know what I mean?
And you know what? It's uncomfortable to me too, Frank. And it's going to be uncomfortable to anybody because I don't know what Frank's going to say. Frank doesn't know what I'm going to ask him. I don't know what Frank's going to ask me. You know what I mean? So,
right.
But when we woke up this morning, did you talk to God? Did you say thank you to God? Did you ask God that you're going to do good? You know what I mean? So from there, you build in the day.
Right. Exactly. So that, then one day it got boring because it's a repetitive class, you know. They have a curriculum and then they just recycle through it, you know.
Yeah, it's like you're like, well, I just heard this again, you know.
Yeah. So I'm like, now what? You know, what am I gonna do now? You know.
So did you search another program or look for something different?
Yeah, well, some random lady came up to me, man, and that's where I found art. Some random lady, she just came up to me and she looked homeless, you know. She smelled like urine, you know. Most people wouldn't even talk to her, but she was like, I don't even know you, but you should go check out this place called Art Awakenings. You should go look at it. You should go check at it. And by then I already started like understanding
Isn't that beautiful? Like how God works. Like God's exactly like the most humble woman that like you could think of.
Right. And by then I already started recognizing signs, and that was my inspiration, not motivation. You know, that's when I would get excited when random things like that would happen. So I went to this art place, man, and I learned about art therapy and really started doing the work that allowed my childhood to really heal itself, you know. And along the way, I found this superfood company that because I was
tell me about that, because I didn't know about that.
Yeah. So I was like 220 pounds in rehab, right? I had been, man, I've been, my health has been crazy. So at 4 years old, I had open heart surgery. I have a scar from my neck down to my belly button. And while in rehab, I had like 2 hernia surgeries. I had to get my gallbladder removed. It was full of polyps. I was pre-hypertension. Man, I was going downhill, you know, and I had a raging heroin and meth addiction. And so this is like 2 years, I'd say, or about a year and a half into my recovery. I was juicing, I was intermittent fasting, and I thought I had a handle on everything, right? And then all of a sudden, my energy just started going haywire, and then I developed these big old lumps right on my inguinal. It's right by your right where your leg and your nut sacks meet. There's a our one of our lymphatic systems goes right through there.
Really?
Yeah, and so I started getting these lumps. I had these big old lumps there, and what happens is once our lymphatic system starts getting lumps and stuff like that, usually if they don't do nothing about it, it can turn into lymphoma. So you get cancer of your lymphatic system, and what our lymphatic system does, it's actually pumping out and checking for viruses and diseases constantly. So it takes liquid and blood and all that, and it's scanning all these liquids in our blood and all that, and it's looking for any bacteria. It's looking for anything that's out of the ordinary, and then it sends its defenses to go help the body do what it needs to do. But what happens is that our lymphatic system doesn't have a pump. It needs our movement and our hydration for it to
Oh, you got to move.
Yeah, that's why.
Wow. So
all
this is probably why so many Americans have lymphatic problems, because they're not moving enough.
Right. Yeah, we're not hydrated. So what happens is it's after time, not eating right and not moving, our lymphatic system turns into like the consistency of cottage cheese and stuff like that. So it's like, think of your sewer system, man, or and stuff like that. When it gets plugged up, right? We have to call the plumber and they snake it. Well, it's the same thing, man. It just starts getting plugged up or whatever. Well, anyways, I ran into I met this friend at this art center. She had a healing center, and she mentioned these products. And this is the company. It's called Purium. It stands for pure and premium. So it's I'll share a link with you later, but
yeah, when you share that link, everybody watching this video, the link's in the description. So just go down to the description where you can click there.
Right. That's awesome, brother. Well, anyways, at the time, I'm basically homeless, right? And I don't have no money or whatever. And she's all,
yeah. So they came with you with the product and they said, do you want to try this product?
Yeah, I recommend this product or whatever. And at the time, I'm like, oh, man, I'm already juicing. I don't need that stuff. Like my ego was up, like I'm already doing all this healthy stuff. I don't need it and stuff like that. Or I
look for reasons like why it would be bad, right? So it's all about perspective, right? You could have said that it's like, oh, that's the greatest product, maybe, or that's the worst product, maybe. Right. But either way, you don't know what you don't know, right?
Right. So I blew it off and told her when I have the money, I'll do it. So my excuse was that I couldn't afford it, right? And so I left it at that. And here I am, I'm getting fevers and my energy's tanking, and I'm like, what the heck? I'm not going to the gym. My body's hurting. Like my shoulder just gave up on me. I couldn't even do construction work, nothing like that. I mean, I was going downhill, and the doctors couldn't find anything. Usually to have lumps or anything in your lymphatic systems, usually you get it from viruses or from AIDS or hepatitis and stuff like that. So I was clear on all that. They checked me for all that. No viruses, no bacteria, nothing. So we're trying to figure out what's causing this, and nobody can tell me what it is. I try to go to the Cancer Institute and get a biopsy, and they can't help me because they said it wasn't big enough. I wasn't sick enough to warrant it. And I'm like, I'm trying to prevent that. And like, I'm trying to figure out what's causing this. And so then lo and behold, I'm at this art gallery, right, with some friends or whatever. And another good friend, like totally random, doesn't even know my friend who has a healing center, offers me the same product, dude.
And that's how you knew God was putting you on a path.
Exactly. That's when I knew. I was like, holy crap.
God slapped you again. He said, come on, Frank.
yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. And that's when I knew. I was like, man, I got to do this. I got to take this. And what's so awesome about this company and these products, bro, as is that they grow everything on their own farm, and it's on a old volcanic ash bed in California. They have their own water supply, so they
It's
don't
all
spray.
it's organic as organic
Yeah,
gets.
traced from grower all the way. They have a patented dehydration process. So whenever you dehydrate any vegetables or anything like that, once you heat it, you're gonna lose some of the nutrients. You're gonna lose some of its benefits.
I noticed about that, bro. I've been trying to get healthy for so long, bro, and I still haven't felt like I've recovered from all the years of drinking and smoking. And I take a lot of I've taken a lot of supplements and powder. I'm like, I feel like I'm just hurting myself. They dehydrate the product and it loses like all the amino acids inside the
right.
structure of the process.
And then if our gut bacteria is compromised, we're absorbing like 30%,
even less.
Of whatever.
Yeah, I'm already, my gut's already horrible. So it's it's like I'm taking nothing.
So they have they call it live superfoods, and the reason they do that, they call that, is because they once it comes off the farm, they have this patented, like I said, dehydration process to where they liquefy the product, and then they put it in such a fine mist and silos that by the time it reaches the floor, it dries at room temperature. So it never gets heated or nothing. So you're getting live foods like if you're getting it fresh from the farm, like if you freshly picked it and you went and juiced it, that's how you're getting it. You know what I mean? Because of this patented way that they dehydrate.
So what do you do with the product? It comes in like different types of flavors?
It comes in a powdered form. And you're getting like 12 servings of fruits and vegetables in one shake. You know what I mean? And
so what do you add it in, like a walnut milk and make a smoothie?
No, you can add it to water. You can add it to milk, make your favorite shakes or however you want to do it.
How do you do it?
I just mix it with water, brother. That's it. Just plain water. That's it. And
room temperature.
Yeah, room temperature. Another product that really got me really excited was it's called 𝕬𝕑𝕬𝕑, and that this company has a patent on it. But not sure if you heard of glyphosate. You know what glyphosate is? It's the main ingredient in Roundup. It's a Monsanto product.
Yeah.
And it's, right now, if you do your research, that
stuff.
Please
talk more. Talk at least 5-10 minutes on this, please. Go ahead.
Yeah,
you have the floor.
And it's literally being found in everything, bro. It's being found in our drinks, in our food. It's being found in our water. It's being found in everything that you can think of. See, the problem with glyphosate is that, like any other pesticide, you can like literally wash it off, but this gets into the DNA of the plant. It goes inside of the plant, so you can't wash it off. Once you ingest it, it wreaks havoc in our gut system, and it's actually being tied to cases of lymphoma. So they have this one product that is triple blind tested and is shown to remove up to 75% of glyphosate from your gut within 6 weeks of taking this. And they also have another one, and it also removes C-reactive proteins, and that's the main biomarker for inflammation. So at the same time, you're like flooding your system with high dense nutrients, and you're rebuilding your gut bacteria. And man, lo and behold, I shrank my lumps by taking these products. You know what I mean? I don't endorse anything, to tell you the truth. Like I said, I'm just about art, but what I am about.
Oh, look, here's the thing, Frank. When you come with us, bro, this is what we do. Let me just for a second. I'll tell you a little bit about the Zen Pool. We're here to bring pool players, exciting entertainment, creative people, any type of people that have a passion towards something that want to share with the world. We invite you to come play pool with us, right? And you know what? This is perfect. A lot of times, some of these guys that are content creators, they have a passion, but they don't have any type of product that they could help, other people with. This is great that you already have the product, you know about the product, you're knowledgeable about the product, you have the firsthand, you're super smart, you know exactly what's going on with the body and why you need to be taking this. I can totally understand the benefits of taking some products like the way I'd love to try these products. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna purchase these products from you, right? But I would encourage other people to do the same. And we could do this on a weekly basis, a monthly basis, however you wanted to do it.
Yeah. This is awesome, bro. And you said the key word is helping. And so that's my mission now, is just to give back. So I learned all this stuff, man, everything that I'm talking about, all this, I learned psychology, all this stuff was from watching YouTube, man. And that's how I found David Meltzer. That's how I found you, was just by letting go of my old surroundings and immersing myself into the new and taking a step blindly, blindly. And it's
but
paid
with good
off.
faith, right? We've all done this in good faith.
Yeah, man. So with me, one thing that I learned is neuroplasticity, man. That we have the ability, our brain has the ability to regrow new brain cells, to create new synaptic connections, and that's where nutrition comes in. Is that it facilitates that new brain growth, and then that. So every 7 years, our body replaces every cell, everything, every organ, everything gets redone. But if it doesn't have the necessary nutrients, it's gonna reprogram the same old program. You can call it karma.
You might get reprogrammed with Monsanto's.
yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? And that's what so my mission is really to show what's possible. That I do have these diagnoses of PTSD and bipolar. I do not take meds, and I'm not like talking trash about meds. They just didn't work for me, so I had to find another creative solution. I found it through diet. I found it through expression. I found it through, like I said, intermittent fasting, and art. Really, mindfulness, learning how to be still. A lot of us relapse and go back to the old ways is because we get bored, or because, like I said, our nervous system is always sensing for danger, in a sense, right? And if we're constantly used to trauma, that's safe to us, right? The anxiety feels safe. So when we do try to go change, peace to our nervous system
feels unsafe.
Yes, it's a threat. It's a threat. Exactly. And our ego, our macho thinking is like, oh, I'm not scared. You know what I mean? I'm just being me. I'm not a sellout. You know what I mean? I'm not a sellout.
I'm not a quitter. I'll drink another beer. Smoke another cigarette.
Like, do it, whatever, But
it's the ego, bro. At the end of the day, people like me and you are sitting back in life and watching other people that we've already been through those egos and emotions and those characters. We've had time to see what the outcomes were for these types of people and the outcomes were for other types of people. And eventually you choose, what do you want to do? And I think rest is the most important thing. If anybody who's listening to this wants to change anything about you, rest. You're having a good sleep pattern, going to sleep on time and waking up where you're rested and you're like, you know what, this is going to be a good day. Let me just relax, say a prayer, breathe, right? Just breathing. Breathing is an exercise that we do as normal human beings, right? All the time, but we don't think about it. Why don't you sit down and think about it, relax, enjoy it, experience life, and then get up and walk and try to do something.
Yeah, I love that. That's you made a very excellent point, and that's That's another thing, is learning how to get back into nature, right?
The
And
grounding.
so,
Oh yeah, it was a big thing because you said you like to ground every day, and I'm like, yeah. Ever since I heard you say that like a week ago, I was like, I've been putting my feet in the grass and walking in the grass outside.
right, yeah, there's scientific evidence that shows it reduces inflammation, and it all has to do with vibration and energy, right?
It does, because the earth is huge. You're just standing in this electric field and it's holding you. You're being held in through gravity. Mother Earth is holding you. They call him Gaia, right? You're just standing there and it's holding you. It's awesome.
Right, exactly. And what you can think of, something that proves this is say when you're playing an instrument or something, you're playing a guitar or you're tuning it. If there's another guitar there, that vibration of you tuning it will reflect it on that other guitar without you even having to play it in its resonance frequency. You know what I mean? So that happens to us. When we're vibrating something somewhere in a crowd or whatever, when we go into a room that there's tension or something, we sense that. We sense all that stuff. You know what I mean? It's just that we don't know how to discern what's ours and
We're
what
electrical.
belongs.
We're electrical beings, really.
Right. So magnetic, baby, heck yeah. And it comes from the heart, man. So that's another important fact of exercising and doing things that we love, such as art or whatever it may be, doing the pool or whatever.
And so, so what I learned when I was going through, my years of therapy was that there was this thing called flow, and I would talk to my therapist and I would tell her, man, when I play pool, I feel great. And I feel like, and she was, why? I was like, because, like I just did it for a little bit and I got so much better than everybody else. And I could keep getting better. And I love it and I can't get enough. She's like, wow, you totally found flow state, because you found something that you're good at and you just do it for whatever reason. You're better at it than other people. And once you just decide to do it, you just immerse yourself in that, and you just have this sense of well-being.
There's no problems. You're not thinking about yesterday. You're not thinking about tomorrow. You're not thinking about bills. You're just flowing. You're going with your heart. And the beauty about that is that our heart has 40,000 to 42,000 brain neurons, bro. They're called sensory neurites. You can look this up. And our heart produces an electromagnetic wave around our body, like a circle, and that's how
auras, like auras and energy.
Exactly, and that's how we feel each other's vibes. You know what I mean? But it's unspoken. It's a subtle thing. You know what I mean? We all know it. We've all done them things or hung out with those people that we're like later on we're like, I knew I shouldn't have done it. I knew I shouldn't have done it.
It's
but
we
don't trust the language.
Right, we don't trust our gut.
Yes, exactly. The heart's trying to speak or whatever, and the gut is sending that energy, like that knowing, and that's where nutrition and all that plays a key role in getting all that back. Like I said, I just turned 45 May 30th, bro. The doctors keep telling me, keep doing what you're doing. My inside, my body looks like a 30-year-old. That's what they told me. And here, like a couple of years ago, I was going downhill.
You were literally on death's door. You can't get any closer to death. Bro. You're just riding the line of death and life.
Yeah, and so at 45, I feel healthier and better than I ever did in my 30s. I was addicted to heroin and opiates and a lifestyle for over about 18 years, bro.
Yeah. So when did you start? When did you first use drugs?
Shit. First time I did cocaine, I think I was 17, I think. But see, the first time I tried opiates, and I didn't even know about it, and I didn't know about opiates when I was 4 years old, when I had open heart surgery. I mean, you can imagine what they do to you. So along the way, I did a lot of research, and opiates rewire our reward system. It rewires our dopamine. It rewires the way our brain interacts with the world. So at 18, I had a car blow up on me, a radiator, and it burnt half my body. And that was the second time I tried the opiates, and I found love. I couldn't explain why I loved them so much. But man, I thought they were God's gift to humanity, man. I didn't know I didn't know the dangers of what I was getting into. You know, I started with the pills and they got too expensive, and naturally I went to heroin because it was cheap. But it started with
and then the more you do, like we're saying, the more you do with dope, the less you feel.
And then what happens with trauma? What happens with trauma is that we don't have all these chemicals. We're not producing our dopamine. We're not getting our serotonin. We don't know how to get oxytocin. All this stuff, we're getting it through food or drugs. You know what I mean? But yeah, dude. So I just wanted to share. I'm gonna give you guys my code, and you for first time buyers you get $50 off a $75 purchase, or 25% off your entire order, whatever's greatest. And once you do become a customer, you get 25% off all the time. Because when you go in there, you can't shop there unless you use my code anyways. You have to use somebody's code. And my code is Sober Seeds. That's it, you know. But yeah, man, this is beautiful what you're doing, bro. I really appreciate you. And this is awesome, bro. We definitely got to do more of this.
And we didn't talk anything about your work. You're not going to show them some of your artwork, bro? I'm a super fan of your art, bro.
Yeah. Heck yeah. So I'm actually in the process of moving, bro. We got to move out, but this is some of the paintings that I do. I do a lot of like found objects, bro. So this is made out of jumping cactus. So this is my version of Scream. So this is just jumping cactus wood that I found in the desert.
That's crazy. That's awesome, bro.
Resin to and I named it El Llanto. So I make sculptures.
Nice, bro.
This is another mask that I'm working on. This is made with rose petals, bro. That's why it's brown. It's white rose petals that turn brown. Then I use cactus thorns for the sun rays.
Wow.
Then I'm more stuff to rebuild it.
That's gorgeous, bro.
I also do ceramics. I make these hearts. Also sanded and made this wood plank here. Right now I'm currently working on a show for a gallery, and it has to do with rain and monsoons, and this is what I'm working on right now. So this is just acrylic painting. Yeah, bro, and I didn't know I had talent, bro. I didn't know I could do art. I didn't know any of this. These are some other of my paintings.
How did when that lady came to you, I mean, you just went to a couple of classes and you just got into it, huh? You breathe better, bro, right? When you're in the flow.
Yeah, I just started, I literally just started going there every single day and just sat there and learned how to be patient. So painting and all this stuff, I'm going to show you how my paintings,
like you said, YouTube is a big source for anybody to do anything nowadays. That's so dope. I love that.
So this was like my first stuff because I didn't know how to paint. I didn't know how to do anything. So it was like I felt very constricted. I felt very muddy. So I would just I would just do it with paint. And then later on, it just started getting like this. And over the years, it just went getting better and better. But that's
art changes, right? Artists, once you start, you kind of start and your style will change. It's like playing pool too. When you're a pool player, you're crappy when you first start, but you just keep doing it. You keep doing it and you get better, a little bit better. You're going to be 80 years old and your art will still be changing. I think artists will die not finding their true style.
Right. Oh yeah, definitely. And that's one of the main reasons that I latched on so hard to it was that it's it teaches you to honor you be whatever and not to be afraid of people's judgment. This is me. This is my art. So what if so and so doesn't like it? So what if I get criticized? as long as I put my whole heart into it, I did myself and the world a service, because I wasn't afraid to not show it. I was proud of it, and it gave me peace. So it allows me to share that peace and that joy with the world and my surroundings. So that's why I love expression. That's why I love art, and it also it also allows for both sides of our brain to communicate. That's that's the beauty of it, man. Not only that, if you suffered a lot of trauma when you're a kid, in a sense, you never had a childhood. So the beauty about going back to childhood is what does a kid do when he's learning how to walk? He can fall 1,000,000 times, but he keeps getting up, right? So that's the beauty of going back to thinking like a child, to loving the world like a child, to be naive like a child, to be altruistic like a child. A child, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you too. And the pool players and golf, and we have this thing. You can have these guys that play so good, but they get to this point where the pressure breaks them so quick. But the champions, the super champions, some of the guys that I bang with, they have child mind, beginner. They call this beginner's mindset. Like when you first did something, they call it beginner's luck, because you have no clue what you're doing, but you focus so hard. You try so hard because you don't know what you're doing. You don't know if you're going to win or lose, but you're just going to try your best. And then something beautiful happens, right? You do better than you expected.
Yes, exactly. That's it. You see, man, I love this. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah, man. So yeah, brother. It's so now it's just staying consistent with doing all this stuff. I know that I'm gonna have to be like this for the rest of my life, because I've met OGs out there that had been clean for 10, 15 years and relapse and lose everything, because it's that sneaky. It's that
so quick. It's just the decision.
Guy, baby.
It's just one decision.
Yeah.
And I can tell everybody right now, you produce what you fear. If you fear you're going to relapse, you're going to relapse, because in your mind, this is another one, or a big one. A man is only what he thinks about all day long. If you're somebody that might relapse, you might relapse. You're because you're tough. If you put the art, and if you're just a guy that's like about the art, you don't have time about relapse. What are you talking about? I got art to do, bro. I got shows to do. I got people to smile with. I got hands to shake. I got people to love. I got things to do. I got mountains to climb. I don't have time for relapse, bro. That's for somebody else.
Heck yeah, brother. So
how do people find you? How do people find you, Frank?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram, FrankV53. I'm mostly there, and man, you guys could 931@yahoo.com, and I'm also on YouTube, Frank Villa, on YouTube, and yeah, I just on a mission to give back, baby.
All right. Thank you so much for joining me. We're going to end this here. Don't go anywhere, Frank. Okay. Everybody, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give a like, and make sure you follow Frank, because Frank's way, 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 way cool. And you need to be seeing what he's doing. And if you love his art, if you're an art person, you need to check out his art. You need to follow, if you're a person that needs some type of an inspiration, there's your guy right here. One of your guys. Okay. This is Manny with Zen Pool Studio signing out. All right. Peace. Let's end it. Okay. Okay. Stop recording. Okay. I'm new.
That was awesome.